effects made me laugh before I even began. Hi guys! We're gonna play a cat dating sim in celebration of Valentine's Day. Tomorrow. This is what my life has become. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I've watched people play dating sims. It's like a guilty pleasure, but I don't know if I've actually played a dating sim myself. So this should be it should be interesting. Hang on. How to play? You can progress the story by hitting space. Alternatively, you can left click. If you're feeling a little spicy, you can even progress the story by left clicking on the heart icon. To rest to restore your health. Running out of hearts may have consequences. Interesting. Hey Angel, hey Dragon. Finishing 3 research events will result in the completion of your contract, ending your chapter. So make sure you've done everything you want to do before finishing your research for the professor. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know. I didn't know there was research involved. But then I did just agree to date cats. So I don't know. Keep an eye out for anything odd. Curiosity may have killed the cat, but it might lead you to some fun extras. I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared. Alright. Oh, it's like cute. Meanwhile, my cat's just GTFO'd somewhere. Ah, Nathaniel, hi! Sorry if I'm a little sniffly tonight. I can't decide if it's hay fever or a cold, as usual. Right. Okay, let's do this. I've got the giggles and we haven't even started. I don't know why that makes me want to laugh. Okay, yep, that's fine. So chapter 1, yeah. New game. 18 endings? Oh my god. Jordan, hey man. Enter my name. Okay, well I'm not blonde, but I like ponytails, so it's not quite my hair length either. I'm like, I don't know. We're gonna spend half an hour on here. Okay, let's go. I'm not blonde, I can't cope. That'll do. Autosave notification. This game supports autosave feature. Please don't turn off your game while it's saving. I'm an angel and I accept. I'm a devil and I reject. Top middle? No, that wasn't me. Chapter 1. What is this? I'm not sure how long we've been sailing, but it feels like forever. I'm not feeling too well now, so it's a huge relief to hear the deck lad shout. Island approach. Make yourself ready. Hey, Joe. How you doing, buddy? I'm finally here. When I applied last month, I was just another broke student living off baked beans, and I didn't really think I had the chance of being accepted to be part of the prestigious Cat Island research team. I want to be a part of that. Yet here it is. The little black dot in the distance, growing bigger by the second, is the infamous Cat Island, the place I will call home for the next few months. My heart momentarily skips a beat. I'm sorry, I'm going to have giggles this entire playthrough. It momentarily skips a beat. What if there's been a mistake? What if they accepted someone else's application and accidentally sent the offer to me? I rummage around in my bag until I find the papers. DP Corporation. Dear Quarico, we are pleased to be able to offer you the position of research assistant to Professor Pauper. Our research facility on Cat Island. The position will be for an initial period of 8 weeks. Your contract will be sent separately. We look forward to working with you. Yours sincerely, Professor Pauper. No mistake. That's my name, right there in the top left-hand corner, Quarico. And that's his name at the bottom, the genius behind this whole operation. Professor Pauper. Science genius and my new boss. I look up from my papers to see dry land rapidly approaching before us. It seems to be surrounded by a huge barrier of impenetrable black rocks. As we get closer, we're not slowing down, and I begin to worry that we're going to crash into them. Then, at the very last moment, we take a sharp turn to the left, and suddenly we're sailing smoothly towards a jetty through an opening in the rocks. I blow out the breath I've been holding and break into a smile. Nicely done, Skipper! The ferryman comes out from behind the steering wheel, ignoring my attempts at camaraderie, and shouts rather briskly. Take all your belongings. We won't be back for days, so don't leave nothing you'll need. Hey, Peter Baldy! Thank you. I smile weakly at the ferryman and his son and pick up my bags, ready to disembark. We glide seamlessly up to the wooden jetty, and the son leaps ashore to tie us off. He's greeted by a bulky man in a uniform, who I take to be a security officer of some kind. Zane Jones. Joe? Sir, caught you a mouse. And then he laughs loudly, as though it's the funniest thing he's ever heard. It's very disconcerting. The security guard remains surly and turns his attention towards me. That doesn't look surly. That looks friendly. That looks a little more surly, but not so. Let's be having you then. He holds out his large hand, which I assume is an offer to help me off the boat, but as I reach out to take it, he snatches it away, throwing me off balance so that I almost fall over the side. What a great start. ID card? Oh, there's a bug, sorry. Great stream, great stream. I left the door open today and bugs got in. Oh, I see, of course. I reach into my back pocket and hand over the laminated card I was given on the mainland. Quaraco. Date issued 1st of the 1st, 2017. I'm so happy. Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god! I love it. He barely looks at it before striding off, grunting over his shoulder. This way. I follow him down a dirt track path and get my first proper view of the island. It's beautiful, lush and green. I'm already under its spell. And no more than a couple of minutes of trekking, we're in base camp, which consists of an assortment of tents and huts. Among them are two more solid-looking structures, one larger and one smaller. I presume these are the labs. The whole camp is moderate but functional. It reminds me of an army outpost. I'm struck by the lack of people. In fact, there's no one around apart from an older woman sitting outside peeling a pile of potatoes. I smile at her and give her a little nod, but she just stares back at me. Miss Marigold. Mrs. I try not to get paranoid. God, I'm relating to this character too much already. You need to get a cat. Angel, thank you for the 2 month subs. Thank you for the resub. Yay, meow. Yeah, I do. I think I need cats as my sub alert noises, or as all my alert noises. Here. He's stopped at the largest of the tents, indicating that I should go inside. I feel rude just walking in, so I make my presence known first. Hello? A firm but friendly voice calls out. Come. Oh wow, dude. I walk in and there he is, hunched over some documents. The great Professor Pauper. What is, it says you can click this. If you're feeling spicy, it says you can click this. I'm not feeling spicy yet, guys. We'll wait a bit. Sir, it's an honor to meet you. Yes, you must be Quaraco. Come in, my dear. Glad to have you on board. Good journey? Well, long. Yes, indeed. We're rather tucked away out here. Oh, dialogue choices. Let me offer you some refreshment. Water, coffee, something stronger perhaps? Whiskey? I'm fine, thank you. Just some water if you have some. It would be rude to let you drink whiskey on your own. I'd love a cup of tea. He didn't offer tea. Maybe I'd... I love how I'm just associating with this character. I'm like, I don't want to be too much trouble, so I should maybe just have water? But yeah, like, there's another part of me that's like, just have some whiskey. No, you know what? It's been... No, oh no, I've just met him. Oh god, I love how I'm trying to... I'm just gonna have some water. Just some water, please. Just some water would be great if you have some. Now that's something we have in abundance. There are plenty of safe, natural springs on the island. We have the bottled kind too. I'm relieved as he passes me a bottle. I'm not too keen to start drinking from natural water sources until I've personally checked that they're not used as cat urinals. It will take you a while to find your way around and discover how it works, so for today I thought I would just get you kitted out and maybe introduce you to some of the locals. The cats, that is. I believe you've already met most of the human locals. Oh, I only met the ferryman and the security guard who brought me here. Yep, that's about it. And the lady outside? Ah, Mrs. Marigold. Her and her husband are the caretakers. Wonderful couple, the Marigolds. You'll meet them before too long. We're a tidy little family here, Koriko, and I'm sure you'll fit in nicely. Thank you, sir. I hope so. Okay, first things first. This is your basic kit. He begins to go through a pile of things on his desk, explaining each of them in turn. This is your backpack. You can put everything in it. We will be going on plenty of field trips, so it will be useful. As will your own water bottle. Some disinfectant hand spray. These heavy-duty reinforced gloves, which are essential when tagging cats out in the wild. Don't want any scratches from felines we don't know now, do we? No, we don't. I suppose not. I shove each item into my new backpack as he gives them to me. Likewise, these goggles are to be brought along on all field trips. Field trips. This slot here, he indicates to a small pile of what looks like laundry, is the basic uniform. Lab coats, masks, stethoscopes, etc. Portable first aid kit, camping knife with all tool attachments. Finally, and without a doubt most importantly, this! What is this? He holds up something that looks more like a mobile phone, except clearly it isn't one. This is your... Oh no! This is your catalogue! Catalogue? Yes, the name comes from its earliest version. It was initially designed to record and store data on the cats, scan them and log their details, but as you see, we've come a long way since then. Now you can use it to communicate with the rest of our team. I've added everyone's contact details for you. Listen to music, take photos. There's even a pen that comes with it to insert microchips into the back of the cat's necks. Did I read that correctly? So that we can keep track of them. It's a very valuable piece of equipment, Koriko, and I need you to protect it above all else. Do you understand? He's looking me directly in the eye and clearly expects a response. Yes, sir, of course I'll look after it. Good. You'll get to know all the functions as you go along, but for now I suggest we take a stroll and see if we can't find a few friends to introduce to you, so that you can try it out. He hands me the gadget. I feel a bit nervous taking charge of it, but also really keen to have a go. We head down to the beach and the professor is explaining things as we go. The mixture of terrain on Cat Island is quite unique. Even in such a relatively small area, you'll find forests, mountains, jungles, beaches, woodland, all of the different geological and ecological zones in one place. It really is remarkable. It certainly is. Even the lack of wildlife itself is, in itself, quite remarkable. What do you mean, Professor? Well, put simply, There is a type of force field that surrounds the island, disallowing anything to enter. You mean literally anything? Absolutely. No birds, no fish, or creatures of any kind can penetrate it. What about the cats? Forgive my lack of intelligence on this subject, but, we're here? The professor lets out a disconcertingly loud laugh. Ha! I see what you mean. Well, there is of course one small break in the invisible wall, and that's where we built this jetty. But let's not get too bogged down in all this right now. What you do need to know is that basically the island is shaped like a peanut. He has picked up a nearby stick and draws a simple map in the sand. This, our end of the island, is very well known to us now. We've been researching here for many years. The other end is not so familiar to us. We've encountered difficulties that have hindered our progress in the region. Whoa, shit! What was that? What type of difficulties, Professor? What was that? Okay, well, we're not as sure as we'd like to be. But what I can tell you is that the environment has an adverse effect upon humans, inducing nausea at the very least. And at the worst, fainting, migraines, possible nerve damage. God, that sounds serious. As I say, it's best to keep away. But let's not get into all that right now, my dear. You've had a long day. For now, let's just say that we refer to the far end of the island as the danger zone with good reason. Huh? I must ask you not to put yourself at risk by venturing beyond this mountain range here. He refers to the map once more, drawing a line just past the center and an X through the end section. There are wild, aggressive cats out there. I wouldn't want you getting too close to them. Unlike our lovely fellows closer to home. He has led me to a spot where a few cats are lounging about. What do you say we try out your catalogue now, Croco? Please. Stop. He stoops down and picks up one of the animals, a disgruntled-looking cat who was sleeping under the shade of a palm tree. Oh my god, I love him already. This cat lets out a displeased mew, but doesn't struggle. Its large body, billowing with long orange fur, just sort of hangs in the professor's arms in lazy resignation. Would you like to have a go at scanning this delightful chap? I find the on switch and somewhat timidly activate it. Oh! That scared me! Hey, Tildoran. The gadget immediately comes to artificial light, emitting a boop 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 sound with a red pulsating light. I select the app labeled CAT Scan and it loads instantly. Oh, CAT Scan. Oh god. What did I expect? I'm in a cat dating simulator. There's puns galore. There's no delay on this thing. The professor holds the cat towards me with arms outstretched. I'm sure he said the scanning chip is implanted in the back of the neck somewhere, but it's difficult to find this one's neck amidst the thick cloud of fur. I blow to make a parting and press the catalogue to his skin. It's a bit like scanning groceries in the supermarket where I used to work. That should do it. As he plops the marmalade Tom back into the shade. Sure enough, upon withdrawal, I find the cat has been successfully scanned. Meow. Fluffy Butt was Floofy Butt. Oh, his name is Floofy Butt. Do I do it? He's a male. He's 10 years and 4 months. He's a red tabby Persian, and he's so happy. Look at his little tongue. Amazing. Clever, isn't it? A large part of your job here will be to tag and scan the cats, such as Mr. Floofy Butt here. But it looks like you have no problems at all in that area. Excellent work, Koroko. Thank you, sir. I can't wait to get started. Well, why don't you get a bit more practice with the catalogue and scan the rest of them while we're here? These five spend a lot of time together. They're a little like a family. Aren't you? Oh, yes, you are. It took me a moment to realise that he'd changed to talking to cats. The professor seemed to be a genuine cat lover like me. I think we're going to get on great. Okay, here goes. No help this time. The professor steps back. The first cat I approach is very friendly. With beautiful calico markings. It comes towards me, already purring. Trixie. Trixie's a female, 3 years, 8 months. She's a calico American shorthair with green eyes. Next is an elegant, sleek, hairless cat sitting in the sun. She doesn't pay much attention to me and allows me to scan her without minimal fuss. Meow. Snooty booty. Ah! Female, 11 years, 1 month. She's a sphinx and her eye colour is blue. The fourth cat I approach is a noisy one. Meow, meow, meow. I'm gonna upset my cat. McMurphy is a male. He's 6 years old. He's a brown crossbreed and his eye colour is green. And finally, the one I've deliberately put off until last. He's been skulking around the edges of the activity, eyeing me suspiciously as though he could pounce at any moment. I laugh at myself, already projecting personalities onto these animals. Oh my god. I gotta make sure my cat's not here because I don't want to get her upset by making noises. Kibbles is a male. He's 3 years old. He's a white British long hair and his eyes are green. Should have heart the cat. Yeah, I don't know if it does anything. All done. I hope you enjoyed meeting some of the locals. The professor lets out a little laugh. I have a feeling you'll get to know them quite well in time. That's probably enough for your first day, don't you think? It's quite a lot to take in. I'm suddenly exhausted and grateful to be headed back to camp. It's quite late by the time I've unpacked and settled myself, but I want to write my journal entry before I sleep. I'm surprised at how chilly it is. I've pulled my sleeping bag right up to my chin, but I still feel goose pimples bloom over my arms. Shivering, I rub them to warm up. It makes me smile to think that this inherent reaction to the cold was what will be keeping my new feline friends warm tonight. My eyelids close, thinking of cats, and the island, and the professor. And I don't snore like that. The world around me drifts away as I float up into a dream. What is that? I don't like that! I'm not sure how long I've been asleep, but I wake up with a violent jolt that leaves me sitting bolt upright. It's too dark to see anything, but I hear a rustling and then a strange electronic noise, one that, in my sleepy confusion, I can't place right away. The catalogue! Acting on instinct, I scramble to my feet and follow the noise out of the tent. I look around me, and my fears are confirmed when I catch sight of a pulsing red light getting fainter in the direction of the forest. I snap into action, running as fast as I can. Barefoot, dressed in my pajamas, running at full speed into the forest in the dark of night? I must be crazy. The words of Professor Pauper are ringing in my ears. I need you to protect it above all else. My legs are trembling beneath me. I stop, feeling my heart beat heavy through my body, wheeze in and out, my breath billowing in front of me in white puffs. I shouldn't feel like this. Why am I so dizzy? I try to get my bearings and realize I've blundered perilously close to the danger zone. Oh my god! I can just make out the shapes of some larger animals in front of me before my eyes close and I drop to my knees. What is this game? I open my eyes. The calico cat I scanned yesterday is sitting in front of me. She drops the catalogue at my feet. pass out. Oh no! Hello, can you hear me? Are you okay? I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to do voices, guys. What is it? Don't be ridiculous, Kibbles, it's a human. Oh, yeah, yuck, I can smell it now. It smells like a human. Oh, do be quiet. Are they alive? Of course it's alive, it's breathing, you imbecile. Why isn't it moving? Would you come on and give them some space? Move back a bit. Yes, stand back, move out of my way. Let me have a proper look. I begin to come to. The Sphinx cat is standing over me as I open my eyes. We stare at each other for a moment, while I take in what's happening. Is this one defective? Oh, I feel sick, I'm gonna puke. The cats watch me intently. Am I going insane? Oh, my head! What is it chattering about? They're scared and confused. Let me talk to them. Human? Are you alright? You! I remember you took my catalogue. Oh, but I gave it back to you. It's in your pocket right now. I try to reach into my pocket and realize my hands are scratched to shreds. Ow! Well, what's wrong with my hands? I try to stand. Ow! My feet! What happened to me? Yeah, I guess that was all from the climbing. I told you it wasn't ready for that. What's that? Ready for what? It's anatomical. Yes, I did that word. Structure is far too delicate. I tried to slow it down. Yeah, Floof, you try to restrain a human who's that determined. It was like a margay? Its anatomical structure didn't seem that delicate to me. I was like, a what? Doing what? You made your own way back to the beach. Okay, but that doesn't explain. I show my bleeding hands. Ah, you crawled, Kara. Kara? Who's Kara? That's not my name. Oh, I'm getting... Okay. It's a term of endearment. It's an Irish thing. It's inappropriate. Wait, I crawled? You sure did. Like a cat? Yup. All the way from the mountains? Like a bleeding mountain lion? Impressive. But why? Because you got the sickness. Shh. Maybe you should sit down, human. We need to have a talk. Possibly a long talk. Talk? Yeah, that's right. Since when can cats talk? Oh, for goodness sake, sit. It's the dawn of time. How else do you think we communicate? Stop splitting whiskers, Major. You know full well what the human is saying. I think the revelation here, Kara, is that you understand us. Yes, that too. Will someone please explain what the hell is going on here? Is this Quoroko's chronicling? Yeah, I'm gonna become a crazy cat lady. Well, we don't fully understand understand everything ourselves, at least not all the details of how this works. I think being stood in a forest surrounded by a bunch of talking cats is about as much detail as anybody would want. I agree, and more to the point, we were rather hoping you would be able to help us. You are the scientist, after all. You know what we're doing? Wow, I'm sorry. I looked away at my own cat, because she meowed, and I lost the plot. What we do know is that the clock has started ticking for you. What? What do you mean? Well, there's no easy way to say this to you, Kara. You've been catified. You'll be catified. I'll be what? Whether you want help or not. you don't have a lot of time before, if I may, it would seem, and we are basing this on our experiences to date, that when a human manages to find themselves in what I believe you call the danger zone, they are vulnerable in ways that they previously were not. That is to say, you're screwed. You're not helping. Don't make me... Whoa, mountain lion. There doesn't need to be any violence of any kind. Forgive me for being a bit panicked here. The vulnerability to which Snooty Booty is referring is simply put, if you are bitten or scratched by an elder cat within the danger zone, you will begin a process of change that will ultimately result in a full feline transition. Catified. So basically, you're telling me I'm a werecat? I look down and in amongst the scratches on my right hand are 2 distinct puncture marks. The reality of my situation descends on me like a cold mist. Basically, yeah, I love Floofy butt. Yes. My head is spinning. This is too much for me to take in. Take a breath now, Kara. You're not looking so good. No, I don't want to be a werecat, Angel. What? Have I started to change? I feel my head for ears, fur, everything seems to be normal. No, I just meant that you're looking a bit shaky, understandably so. I take a few deep, steady breaths and calm myself enough to say, okay, so what, why, how, what, give me some data. What have you got so far? Look, we'll answer anything we can, but the truth is, we have more questions than answers ourselves. So, you need my help with what exactly would that entail? Well, finding our friends would be a start. The cats on this island, they're going missing. We don't know what's happening to them, but the body count is rising and we've hit a wall. A wall of ignorance, maybe. Really, how many times do I have to tell you? The Muellers are to blame. Muellers? Now, Floofy Butt, there's no need for name-calling. Speaking of name-calling, I'll remind you to call me Major, madam. Did I call him Mayor before? I might have done. Look, they can't help the way they are. It's the lack of breeding, you know. Overbreeding, if you ask me. Again, Muellers? They're the elder cats. The island originals. They can't speak the way we can, hence the derogatory term, Muellers. How are they to blame, exactly? Well, if I knew that, there would be no need for this elaborate kidnapping. It's hardly proving to be a roaring success, after all. Look, Kara, all we know is that we are no longer safe on this island. The elders who live within the danger zone are hostile towards us. Not sure why, it's just always been that way. And now, because the cats are being taken, nowhere else is safe either. You expect the occasional mishap. We live in an undomesticated world here, after all. But lately, cats have been disappearing almost every day. Even the last human we catified went missing. I'm sorry, what? Let's not open old wounds, Kibbles. Yes, onwards and upwards. Well, first things first. This werecat thing. Catification. Transition. Whatever. How does it work? Time passes and you transform into a cat. Yeah. It's a gradual process. It's different for everyone, but you won't just turn overnight. The clock is ticking, however. The first side effect of the transition is being able to understand us. Well, some of us. Not the elders, obviously. Not all domestics either. Then you have the whole heightened senses thing. The increased agility, the crazy body hair stuff. Let's not worry the human with all the details just yet. I assume there's an antidote? I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed in that assumption. Hang on, you said there was someone else you'd put in this position. Well, let's hope you're a better bet than they were. Unfortunately, they weren't able to discover an antidote or get our friends back. I know where their notes are, though. Really? Trade. Huh? You help us, and I'll give you their progress reports. What do you say, Carter? Will you help us? I'm gonna help the kiddies. Not much of a choice, really, is it? Afraid not. Okay, fine. So, where do I start? Is there anything you can tell me that would help me track down your missing friends? Will nobody listen to sense? Start with the Muellers, and I'll eat my hat if it doesn't end there too. Don't mind him, he's just set in his ways. We have every reason to believe the abductions take place in your part of the island. Yes, nowhere near the danger zone or the elders. Well, that doesn't make much sense, but I suppose nothing does around this place. Woo! My catalogue starts beeping. Oh, my alarm, I have to get to work. You run along now. We don't want you arousing suspicions with your people. You can meet with us later. I'll make sure those reports are in your tent before this evening. And I kept the wrong voice. Thanks, Kara. You're a 1 in a million. I imagine the odds are far greater than that, given your new health status. Go! And thanks from all of us. Oh, I like Trixie. Trixie's sweet. After a rather painful journey, I'm very grateful to finally limp back into camp. I have just enough time to get myself tidied up for work, and I'm about to peel off my filthy pajamas when I hear my catalogue beeping. I have a message, but I can't tell who it's from. It's not from any of the contacts that Professor Purrfect programmed into it. In fact, there's no contact information at all. Unknown number. Are you sure it is wise to trust everyone? Anyone? What on earth does that mean? Who is this? There's a lot you don't know. Think carefully about who you confide in. Before I can think of reply, the messages are gone and my catalogue has no record of them. I don't have any time to think about this right now. I need to get ready. As soon as I'm presentable, I head over to the lab. I'm 10 minutes late. It doesn't give a good impression on my first morning. There's cats in cages. We don't want cats in cages. Ah, Quarrico, good to see you. I was beginning to worry. Did you oversleep on your first day? I'm terribly sorry, sir. I think the travelling and all the excitement of yesterday... I take punctuality very seriously. He cuts across my apology. Not to worry. It's perfectly understandable. You'll find I'm quite relaxed about most things. As long as you get the work done, I don't mind what hours you keep. Thank you, sir. Shall we get started? My goodness, what on earth happened to you? He's looking at the scratches all over my hands. Oh, I fell and tried to save myself by grabbing onto a bush. Not a secret drinker, are you, Quarrico? No, sir, I'm a bit of a lightweight, to tell you the truth. Just teasing. We ought to get those hands sorted out, though. They look pretty nasty to me. He goes to the tall metal cabinet in the corner and takes out a bottle and some cotton wool. He begins cleaning and tending my hands while he talks. For today, I'd like you to help me with a few tasks around the lab to get the hang of things. But from tomorrow, I'll let you make your own choices about how best to carve up your time. Of course, you are primarily here to carry out your job as my research assistant. However, try to make the most of your time on the island. Once your work is completed, we'll be saying goodbye. This really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so don't waste it all in the lab. Naturally, I need your help around here, but I'd also like you to get your hands dirty with some field work. Make sure you spend time exploring the island. It's a beautiful place and there's a lot to see. Take the time to get to know the cats. A full understanding of their behaviour is crucial to our research. There's plenty to see and do. However, you must be careful not to overwork. Take regular rest and relaxation. We don't want you to burn yourself out now, do we? I'll try to get the balance right. That's the spirit, so there you are. He's done a first-class job on my wounds, and they aren't bothering me nearly as much. I spend the rest of the day with the professor, getting to know the various pieces of equipment in the lab, finding out where everything is, and learning the basics of some of my duties I will be performing routinely. Hey Zalak. By the end of the day, I'm exhausted. I make my way to my tent. I'm about to flop down on my bed when I see a package poking out from underneath it. It's the reports that Kibbles promised to deliver. The cats were right. The previous person barely made a start on producing an antidote. I'm gutted and worried. What if I can't do any better? Will I just turn into a cat? I decide that's not an option and resolve to get on with my own research into it tomorrow. My instincts tell me that the cats will be a good starting point. I have a feeling they know a lot, more than they're going to tell me. I need to gain their trust and see if I can't get them to open up a bit. I'm sure to make more progress if I focus on one at a time. I'm optimistic that one-to-one sharing will prove fruitful. It's a small glimmer of hope. Tonight, I'm not fit for anything. I can barely even write in my journal before I fall asleep, nor can I speak, apparently. The first morning of waking up on the island. I'm so excited to discover what the day will bring. Should I jump straight into lab research, or maybe it would be wise to start investigating a way to help these cats and find a cure for myself? Perhaps a good starting point would be to get to know the cats a little bit better. A one-on-one basis. Oh, my brain is shutting down apparently. What should I do? Why is romance an option? Why is romance an option? I don't know the cats. Should I recon? Now, it said that research ends the chapter? I think that's how it went. Let's do a little recon first. What? Which recon task should I carry out? Recon 4, Recon 10. Oh, okay. So, that security guard I met when we arrived might be a good lead. Time for a bit of interrogation work. That strange message in the middle of the island, doesn't anyone sleep? And I'm guessing these are locked. Oh my god, it's a ninja cat! Alright. I'm gonna go with talking to the security guard. I've been staring at the back of his head for a long time now. Too long, I'm starting to feel creepy. I just don't understand it. All he does is sit in that chair by the dock, eating egg sandwiches and doing crossword puzzles. How does a man like that become a security guard for a place like this? As far as I can tell, his job consists of greeting the boat to make sure nothing unauthorized gets on or off it, picking up supply deliveries, and occasionally taking a long, lazy lap of the island to make sure everything's secure? I wonder what he knows about the research that goes on here, if anything. He doesn't seem to be interested regardless. I decide it's time to get to know this island bouncer, and I go to join him at the dock. I sit next to Zane. Me on the sand, him in that chair. He's not wearing his big coat, and the short sleeve shirt allows me to notice for the first time how surprisingly muscular it is. I never truly thought of him as security in the bodyguard sense, but now squinting at him sideways, trying not to stare too obviously, I begin to see him in a new light. I pluck up the courage to talk. Hey Zane, how are you? Are you trying to start a conversation? He says this without looking up from his crossword puzzle. I suppose I am? Yeah? I don't get to chat to humans much in my job. Research assistant, 125. He rolls the words out like he's reading them. Oh, yeah, that's me. So what does the number stand for anyhow? You don't know? He asks monotonously, his eyes glued to his crossword puzzle. No, actually, to be honest, Zane, I don't know much at all. There's a definite lack of intel sharing on this project. Which project would that be? This one? The whole research project that's going on? Is there more than one? Depends on who you ask. You. I was just asking you, really. I don't understand your job. I don't need to. I don't care about things that I don't need to. What do you care about? Zane looks at me for the first time. You really want to talk, don't you? Well, there's not much else to do here. Besides, I'm interested in it all, aren't you? My interests consist of what's for dinner and where's my next puzzle book. When my next puzzle book's coming. When it's coming, you get it delivered. Comes with the mail. He's back to not looking at me again. The mail? You mean the parcels? And the letters, yeah. The letters? Who would go to the trouble of sending mail all the way out here when we have email? I laugh, but Zane looks very serious. It's safer sending mail the old-fashioned way. With email, there's viruses, hackers, worms, security cyber terrorists. I get the feeling he's not very tech-savvy. Yeah, but anyone can open and read a letter, right? Not if I'm around. And besides, who would suspect that something important would be in a pink, fragrant envelope? There's an awkward silence, of course. Being my usually socially inept self, I'm desperate to fill it. Need any help with that crossword? I'm pretty good. I can even do the cryptic puzzle in the Daily Inquirer. This line usually gains me a little kudos, but Zane simply ignores me. I decide to just come out and say what's on my mind. I mean, it can't make things any more awkward than they already are. Zane, have you noticed anything strange going on here? Cats behaving weirdly? Zane looks up, his eyes locking straight on mine, unwavering, hard. No. Have you? Well, not exactly, but he's looking at me properly for the first time since we met. I have definitely captured his attention, but I'm too nervous to follow this through. I'm just being silly. The lack of human company can get to me. Gives me daft ideas. Such as? He's still staring at me, as though he's trying to read my mind. Sometimes, when I'm out tagging, I feel they're playing games on me. Like children, hide and seek, that kind of thing. Some of these cats may be cleverer than any of us give them credit for. Now it's my turn to be intrigued. In what way? They know when to stay out of the sun. You're going pink. The moment, if there was one, is over. I decide maybe Zane isn't the best one to talk to about my concerns. Feeling unwanted and slightly dejected, I decide to head back to camp. I stand up and brush the sand off me. What's a 5-letter word for solitude? Alone. Zane silently scribbles in his book as I leave. Aww. Zane is the evil mastermind. Maybe. So this is still... So I guess when I get down to like 1 heart, I should rest. But I do need to research? Or do I rest on what? Oh god, I don't even know. I don't know the antidote. Alright. This is what we're here for. Let's go romance some cats. Oh, I want Floofy Butt. I want to unlock Floofy Butt. I want to romance Floofy Butt. Oh, there's a mystery romance. We'll do Snooty. Oh, she's so happy. Oh, they're so happy. I'm splayed out like a starfish on the beach in my bathing clothes. It's a swelteringly hot today. Oh, jeez, a hot day. And I find it hard to concentrate on my work, so here I am. I let the cool sea wash over my feet and my legs as I lay back on the sand. I hear a long, loud sigh coming from somewhere nearby, and I sit up to see where it came from. Snooty Booty in repose. under the shade of a palm tree, is looking around her with a concerned expression, one that I've never really seen a cat make before. I go over to her and see if I can help with something. Are you okay, Snooty Booty? How can you say that with a straight face? She lets out another long, wistful sigh. To be quite frank with you, human, no, I'm not okay. I cannot expose this delicate skin of mine to the sun, but there is something I need to retrieve from further down the beach. It's quite the predicament. Oh, right, want me to fetch it for you? Oh, would you be so kind, human? I really would be very grateful. Sure, it's no problem. We can't have you putting that delicate skin of yours at risk. I feel really awkward. I feel really creepy. Snooty Booty. I mean, I'm turning into a cat, which makes it, takes one layer of creepiness off. But I'm still a human, so that leaves the rest. Oh, God. Snooty Booty looks grave. Indeed not. Skincare must come above all else, don't you know? One must never expose one's skin to the elements, human. It's really quite aging. Yes, dear. It really is. One must also never get stressed if one wishes to retain one's youthful aura, which is rather difficult on this frightful island. Oh, I know, believe me. How would you know? How do you know? Are you stressed? Oh no, that would upset me terribly. Really? That's sweet of you. Oh, I'm falling for Snooty Booty. first cat that's nice to me, and I'm like, okay. Of course, you really are a precious thing. I do hope you're finding your time here pleasant. Don't worry about me, Snooty Booty. I'm fine. Now, what was it like you would like me to get for you? Well, before I tell you, I must ask that you don't inform the others of the whereabouts of this particular item. It's very dear to me, you see. One of the few luxuries I have all to myself. Please don't be a dead rat. Please don't be a dead rat. Of course, that's not a problem. I can be discreet when I need to be. I do hope so, human. You see, along the beach just south of here, there's a tree which bears the ripest of coconuts all year round. It is quite splendid. The coconuts are always so sweet and creamy. Snooty Booty looks as if she's lost in a wonderful dream. Sounds lovely. It is. I like to drink coconut water as often as I can, as it's so good for the skin and waistline. But the less civilized denizens of the island keep knocking the coconuts down before they're fully matured. Fortunately, no one else seems to have discovered this particular tree yet. Well, okay, Snooty Booty, I'll try to find some coconuts for you. I'll be back soon. You have my thanks, human. I've been walking for longer than Snooty Booty led me to believe. I'm not sure if this is even the right tree. They all look the same to me. Although this one does seem to have more coconuts than the others. I decide to take a chance and bundle up as much as I can carry in my arms. Haul them back to her ladyship. By the time I get back to Snooty Booty, I'm faint from the exertion, not to mention walking so far in the sun. I fall to my knees, panting in front of her. Here you go, Boots. She eyes the pile with an air of distinct disapproval. I only needed one coconut, human. Oh. These are far too many. Well, I do apologize, madame. Tell me you didn't plunder the tree. No, there were plenty on the ground already, so... Oh, well, that's a small mercy. At least you didn't have to hack them down. Hack them down with what? Well, your hands are rather large and leathery. Snooty Booty, I did not use my hands for deforestation. This is not Minecraft. Well, I'm sure you did your very best. Although, I really don't know what I'm going to do with so many coconuts. You're welcome, I'm sure. I look down at the pile of coconuts and it strikes me properly for the first time how strange it is that there are no creatures on the island to plunder them. What do you think it is, Snoots? I love that I'm coming up with nicknames for this character. That keeps wildlife away from this island. Do you mean the magnetic barrier? Magnetic barrier? Oh, do keep up, human. I thought you were meant to be a scientist. I realised she must be referring to the force field that surrounds the island. Now, be a dear and crack one open for me. With my enormous hands. Well, you could try, I suppose. I push down the irritation that is slowly rising in me and smile politely. On second thoughts, I'll be right back with a screwdriver. A what? Snooty Booty looks horrified. It's a sharp metal tool that bores into things. What on earth do you need one of those for? So I can make a hole to get the water out of the coconut. How else would you propose I do it? Well, look around you, dear. Look at nature's bounties. What about that? Snooty gestures with a limp paw at a shard of rock nearby. Snoots, how do you usually get water out of the coconut when there isn't a human around? Well, the exuberant Kibbles simply loves to break things. Have you not noticed? It's one of the few reasons I tolerate him, don't you know? Far better than one of your scrawl dribblers, don't you think? I reach over and pick up the rock. It does look like it actually could do the job. Okay, let's give it a go. Here goes. Holding the coconut in a palm leaf, I gently tap the shell a few times with a stone before finally whacking it. It cracks open surprisingly easy, and the water drains into the leaf. There now! See how nature provides, human. I feel like we're having a lesson here, everyone. Yep, again, you're welcome. Quite. Snooty Booty stretches her neck, then her upper body towards the leaf. She sticks her tongue out as far as it can go before raising her big eyes to me. Oh my god, I can't quite seem to... I suddenly realize what she's getting at. Let me help, or maybe you should get up. Maybe choosing which cat to seduce, what could possibly be creepy about this game. I know. I know! I knew it was gonna be creepy going in. Should I... I need to, like, win their trust? Maybe she maybe... I don't know. Maybe... I feel like I should tell her to, like, maybe get up. Because she's being super lazy. But at the same time, I feel like maybe I should help, but then I feel like that's making me be a pushover. Again, could be reading far too much into this. I'm going to tell her to get up. Say, get up. No way, this is too much. This little princess is far too spoiled. I think it's high time she learned to do things for herself. Is there something that matters, Snoots? Well, you've placed my libation slightly out of my reach. Oh dear, and you're so thirsty. I love me. Yes, that clearly is the predicament. So what are you going to do about that then? I beg your pardon? Well, it seems you're here and the drink is all the way over there. However are you going to quench your thirst? Are you speaking in riddles? Not really. More like parables. For instance, if the mountain won't come to Muhammad, maybe Muhammad should get off her pink little booty and go to the mountain herself. Snooty Booty looks at me bemused. I'm sorry, but who is Muhammad? In this situation, you are Muhammad. Snooty Booty gives me an exasperated look. I have no time for your nonsense. I'm going to die of dehydration at this rate, human. She scoots awkwardly on her stomach until she gets within reach of the palm leaf and delicately laps at it. That looks delicious. Mm-hmm. Snooty agrees without taking a break. You know, searching for those coconuts was thirsty work. Oh, I don't know where this is going. There's plenty of coconuts. I do hope I'm saying that I'm going to take one for myself. I'm sure it was. She's still lapping at the water. Oh, my throat's a bit scratchy, especially in this heat. Snooty Booty finally comes up for air. Quite. That's the beauty of the coconut, you see. So hydrating. And most palatable too. You really ought to try it out sometime. I look down at the now dry palm leaf. Yes, that's a good idea, Boots. The very best thing after drinking coconut water is to curl up and have a nap, you know. Beauty sleep is the most important. Oh, is that so? Indeed, human. I suppose you have other things to do now. well. Snooty Booty yawns and closes her eyes. I suppose I do. Sweet dreams, princess. She snores softly in reply. Okay. Okay. So, maybe I should do some research? Well, yeah, making a little progress in the antidote. I don't know if... What did it say? Did it say I could get... Like, if I run out of hearts, it's a bad thing? Or if I get down to 1 heart? I can't remember. They said, hang on. I'm trying to remember what it said. Like, research... Would it be researching the whole 3 ends the chapter? I think we're all gonna need a shower after this stream. Ew. Let's just do one of each to see. Let's do some research. Okay, well, what's research 5? Time to round up some rowdy kitties. A slow day today. I've got to organise a few samples from previous field trips. Today I'm off on a field trip of sorts with the professor. I can't wait to see what he's planning for me. Let's go round up some rowdy kitties. It's a sunny afternoon. Most of the cats are lazing on the beach. Perfect. Like shooting fish in a barrel. Really? Double check my supply list. Crates, treats, sedatives, snare, catnip, antiseptic cream for myself. God, this sounds like what I'm going to need on Monday when I take my cat to get groomed. I've got everything. See you in a bunion. I have a sick feeling in my tummy, but I ignore it as best I can. This is going to be a challenge, but I'm pleased the professor is trusting me with more physical tasks. I walk out onto the beach, feeling like a child catcher. I keep reminding myself that I'm doing this for the greater good, even if it makes me unpopular with the cats. I set up a crate in an unsuspecting location and keep the snare hidden behind my back. At first I stroll around, trying to look as casual as possible, whistling a tune as I walk. I get close to one of the smaller cats. I start to stroke her. I want this to be as painless as possible. The cat responds well to me. She even starts to purr gently. Are you going to come with me? Oh, the cat looks at me with big, wide, loving eyes. I want my cat! Turn around and my cat's cleaning a butt. Okay. Come on then. I pick the cat up, carry her to the crate, and place her gently inside. I lock it shut, even though the cat makes no attempt to escape. Well, that went better than expected. This may be a good day after all. Emboldened by my success, I approach one of the slightly larger cats. Hey matey, shall we get in the basket? I give him a stroke. He doesn't respond badly, although he doesn't seem particularly interested either. I put my hands on either side of his body, ready to pick him up. He doesn't look happy about it and growls a warning at me. Hey mister, it's gonna be okay. We're just going on a little trip, alright? Now what is this again? As soon as I start to lift, all hell breaks loose. Yowling, hissing, scratches my arms to ribbons. I tried to get him into the basket, but he stretches out and I can't fit him in. Ow! Ow! No! I know I'm defeated, and I have to let him go. He scarpers off into the distance. I look down at my ravaged arms. Note to self, wear longer sleeves when on caging duty. I'm just trying to help him. Okay, so, do I rest on 1 heart, or can I do one more thing and then rest? Let's just do one more thing. I'm gonna romance another kitty. We'll do one more thing and then rest and see, because now I can't remember. Oh, you're looking a little tired. You only have 1 heart remaining. If you choose to continue, it could have negative consequences. You can okay, no. I'll rest then. I'll rest. Now, let me see. Is that everything I need? I refer to my mum's recipe. Nana's original granola, amended by mum. Oats, yada 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 yada. All of these things. Oh, Wait, did I forget to order the coconut? I rummage around in the supply box that arrived this morning until my hands find what they're searching for. Phew, coconut shavings are a necessity. Wait, even if I'd forgotten them, I'm on an island with an abundance of fresh coconuts. Still getting used to island life. I set the oven to 150 degrees Celsius and leave it to heat up while I measure out the rolled oats. I have quadrupled the quantities so that hopefully it will last the whole summer. It seems vast compared to how much I make at home, but it would be disastrous if I ran out. Homemade granola is an absolute essential. I mix the dry ingredients, oats, nuts, seeds and spices together in a large bowl, and then I add the wet honey and sunflower oil to form a golden, moist consistency. I've actually added a splash more oil than suggested. The mixture was feeling a little dry than usual. Why are we cooking? Why are we cooking? Why do I have to read the cooking right now? Next, I spread it evenly over a baking tray lined with parchment, partly to save from washing up. My god, this sounds like me. And whack it in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes. Checking often, because the seeds tend to burn quicker than I expect. The smell always drives me crazy. Toasty, warm, homey. I miss Mum. Once done, I add the fruit as it dries and cools, and put it into several large glass storage jars, being sure to stuff fistfuls into my mouth as I do. Oh, I'm fully rested. Alright. So, I think probably full research ends the chapter. So let's do a little more romancing. Can I romance Fluffy Butt? Floofy Butt, sorry. Fluffy Butt is actually something that I... He's heartbroken because I didn't choose him? Murphy! Oh, I'm so sorry! Oh, I feel so bad now. Alright, Snooty Booty. I thought I had the chance to, like... But, wait, do I only get... Oh, god damn it. Look, I did... Look. I'm thinking too much into this. But, I thought I had the chance to, like... meet everyone and then choose who I wanted to pursue, not sort of tie in straight away because I want to date a lady cat. I want to date a boy cat, but okay, I'm dating a lady cat, that's fine. I want to date Floofy Butt. Snooty Booty? Snoots? I've been searching for the Sphinx for what feels like ages. For a cat that never seems to move, she's surprisingly difficult to find. I'm answered eventually by an unintelligible murmur coming from the shade of a nearby tree. Of course she's sleeping. Snooty Booty. I poke her gently to try to rouse her. I have something for you. A gift as it happens. Oh, human, it's you. Whatever you are you doing up and about at this time? You broke his heart and feel bad about it. I think someone's getting into dating cats. Oh no. Look, I care about my cats here right now. They're completely platonic. Just want the cats to feel loved kind of way, but not like that kind of way. It's midday, Boots. Snooty stares at me uncomprehendingly. I have an hour for lunch and I came to spend it with you. But if it's not a convenient time, I can always find something else to do. Wait, you mentioned a gift? Well, yes, I suppose. The idea when we were drinking, well, when you were drinking from the coconut that I fetched for you the other day, I took some of the remaining coconuts over to the lab and cooked up some coconut oil. Snooty Booty opens her mouth wide. I sit awkwardly staring at her, unsure exactly what she's doing. Well... Sorry. Look, there is part of me that's just in love with this cat. Because she's just so... I just want stuff done for her. See you, dragon. I'm ready to break my fast, human. It's hard sometimes to know whether to laugh or spit with this spoiled feline. No, Boots, this isn't for eating. You mentioned how good drinking coconut water is for you, so I thought you might like some coconut oil to rub into your skin. Keep you moisturized and useful. I'm feeling awkward again. Hey, Cotton Coffee. Welcome to the creepiness. Aren't you terribly clever? I can't help but blush. Snooty Booty rarely compliments anyone, so I feel honoured. You may begin. This is creepy. Snooty, if this wasn't advertised or set up as a dating sim and I hadn't clicked romance to get here, I'd be fine with this because it would just be a nice scene of being lovely and affectionate to a pussycat. But because I clicked romance in a dating sim to get here and the cat's just rolled over exposing her plump pink tummy to me, I am very, very uncomfortable right now. Oh, you want me to rub it in for you? Snooty Booty simply smiles in response. Well, a please wouldn't go amiss. Yes, well, I don't want to make a fuss, but I would prefer it if you asked first. I sigh. There's not much point arguing with Princess Snooty Booty. I don't think she actually means to be rude. Sometimes she just doesn't seem to understand how to talk to people as equals. I don't have the energy to deal with it today, but I make a note that at some point she and I are going to have a little chat about etiquette. Please, may I rub this coconut oil onto your skin? Yes, you may. I pour some of the pungent liquid into the palm of my hand and rub it together with the other. I have no idea what I'm doing, as I've never massaged anyone before, but I work along the lines of putting sun cream on a friend. Yeah, Cotton Coffee. Yeah. I'm so sorry that you've arrived at this point. Because we're in the madness now. As I touch the warm, loose skin on Snooty's primordial pouch, I'm struck by how delicate she really is, and I try to be as gentle as possible. Is this okay? You're very skillful with your hands. Even I'm so uncomfortable. I am so uncomfortable. Okay. Okay, it's fine. Okay. I do wish I had those thumb things. They seem so useful. They're quite handy, to be honest, but paws are cool too. Snooty Booty lazily inspects one of her paws. Do my paws next, will you? Snooty's skin is reacting well to the treatment and has become shiny and pliant. I see the good it's doing. I move on to massage her paws, but are quite taken aback by the length of her claws. Oh my Boots, your claws are really long. Don't you use a scratching post or anything? What? You know, something abrasive to file them on? Whatever for. Woo! Sorry, I knocked my drink. Of water, by the way. Well, it's part of being a cat, really. Stops them catching on things. Snooty Booty is peering at me with one judgmental eye open. Caught on what, exactly? I need some context, anyone. Okay, so this is categorized as, no pun intended, a cat dating sim. Here we go. Koroko is on a cat island, turning into a werecat and deciding which that is it, and deciding which cat to date as she tries to find out more about why I'm turning into a werecat, what's going on the island, how to make the cure, that sort of thing. And so there's more than just dating, but it's like, yeah. It's creepy. Oh, I don't know, Snoots. Don't worry about it, I'm sure it's fine. Oh no, do go on. I'm intrigued. You seem to be implying that there's a degree of neglect in my grooming. No, I'm most certainly not. You are by far the most high maintenance, well-groomed cat I've ever seen. In fact, you're a perfect example of a sphinx. I'm a what sphinx? She's trying to get me to say perfect again. It's hard to keep a straight face. Absolutely perfect, Snoots. And you're an expert. Well, I wouldn't call myself that, but I've been reading up on sphinx cats, and you have a lot of the characteristics of a pedigree. It's very sweet of you to say so. Remind me, what would those be? Or dare I say perfect? Oh, Colton Coffee! Welcome to the stream! You'll fit right in! I hesitate for a moment, trying to remember what pause for thought listed as the top features to look for in a sphinx. There are a lot of info, and I want to give her the best bits. Do I flatter her or am I accurate? I'm gonna flatter her. Well, let's see. I have a feeling Snooty Booty would not appreciate some of the common qualities of the sphinx, including wrinkles and pot bellies, so I decide to cherry pick and dress it up a bit. Be accurate. I'm sorry. I chose to flatter. Sphinx cats are well known for their beautiful big eyes and high prominent cheekbones. Snooty Booty extends her neck and widens her eyes. She also appears to suck in her cheeks, which gives her the look of someone who's not wearing their dentures. It's very disconcerting. And they have a very shapely physique. This isn't strictly true. Sphinxes tend to be quite muscular, but something tells me Snooty Booty wouldn't approve of that description. She has now extended her entire body into what looks like a yoga stretch. I see. Go on. Their skin is soft, buttery. This is sort of true. Because they don't have fur to soak up excess oils, Sphinx cat can become quite greasy. It's recommended that they be patted down with a cloth as part of their regular grooming. I'm listening. And, they're very regal. Regal? I'm not sure where that word came from, but Snooty Booty seems to be enjoying it. Well, human, it seems you have a vast and accurate knowledge of my kind. I'm rather impressed with you. I blush. It's not often that she gives out compliments. Dude, she's given me two compliments already. But when she does, it makes you feel like $1 million. Thanks, Snoots! Which prompts me to take what you were saying about my claws far more seriously. Do you think I ought to tend to them? In what way? The length. I believe you were suggesting they ought to be trimmed. I wasn't saying that, but I also don't think it's a bad idea. Perhaps I could help you with that? A manicure? What a marvellous idea. Let's say tomorrow, same time? Well, if I can get away. I feel like she's played me. You really are most kind. Thank you, human. With those few words, my heart is a puddle at her feet. What is happening? Oh no. Okay. Let's do some recon. let's do something that's not to do with cats. Alright, this is the text message. Hey, my catalogue beeping. I presume it's a professor. I tumble out of bed, half asleep, and fumble around looking for the device. I look at the screen, my eyes struggling to focus. This message isn't from the professor at all. There's no contact information. Come outside. Who is this? Come outside. They obviously aren't going to respond to my question. Should I do as the message tells me? What if I say no? Just go back to sleep. Oh, Angel. I think he may have crossed the line. The feline. I'm curious. So, I'm going to go outside. My curiosity is roused. I have a feeling there's something important for me to learn from this stranger, so I throw on my clothes and crawl out of my tent. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Anyone out here? Catalogue beeps again. Walk to the edge of the forest. I'm not going any further until you tell me who you are. Walk to the edge of the forest. No. Walk to the edge of the forest. Walk to the edge of the forest. Walk to the edge of the forest. Stop it! By now, I realized I have walked to the edge of the forest. At the edge of the forest, I see something on the ground. As I get closer, it becomes clear that it's a small posy of flowers. I gently pick them up and notice that several of the flower heads are missing. My catalogue beeps again. Follow the petals. And that is when I see the trail of little orange petals, the same colour from the bouquet I'm holding. Well, I've come this far, no turning back now. I begin to walk. I'm nervous, so I call out. Hello? No answer. Louder this time. Hello? It's my boy! Hello? Hello? Who is that? Who goes there? Major, is that you, Fluffy Butt? And the reason I keep mispronouncing and saying Fluffy Butt is because I call my cat Fluffy Butt. Sometimes. She has many nicknames and Fluffy Butt is one. I really wish you wouldn't call me that, human. What on earth do you think you're playing at? Cavorting around the forest in the dead of the night, causing a ruckus? Oh, Major, you don't know how pleased I am to see you. I need your help. And this can't wait until a civilized hour? I'm afraid it can't. I'm not the one instigating. I thought it was going to say instigating this. I've been getting messages from an anonymous source asking me to follow them into the forest. Look, they left this trail. Ah, Calendula maritima. Marigolds, herbs of the sun. They're said to represent creativity, though some believe them to be a symbol of cruelty and grief. Your knowledge is always so impressive, but I have to say on this occasion, it's not very comforting. Floofy Butt goes striding off with purpose. Come along then, Koroko. Are we going to follow this trail or not? No, Angel. No. I want to know. Like, I want to get to know. No, now I'm like having to defend myself. I like the sort of the gruff, fat orange cat. It's cute. I think it's adorable, and its name just happens to be Fluffy Butt, and that just happens to be. It could have been any other name. We're gonna call him Major from now on. It's just that I call my cat Fluffy Butt. That's all. I shuffle awkwardly behind him. Before the sun comes up, hey? We continue for a short while and notice that the petals are getting more sparse. It's becoming difficult to see them until eventually they've run out. We find ourselves at a small clearing. Well, it appears someone has been playing a joke on you, Koroko. I sadly agree. This has turned out to be nothing but a wild goose chase. Oh, I got a cloud over me. Seems so, Major. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. Let's get back to our beds before we waste any more of our precious snooze time on this fool. I turn to Floofy Butt and notice that his back is arched and his fur is puffed up, making him even more floofy than usual. Something wrong, Major? You tell me, human. Does that pile of rocks look suspicious to you? Amongst the myriad of rocks, I notice a small, contrived-looking can. Floofy Butt is right. It does look far from natural. That looks to me like something that needs to be inspected, Major. Well, get to it, Koroko. You're the one with the thumbs. Every morning. That's awesome, Cotton Coffee. I begin to dismantle the small mound, rock by rock. It's not until the foundation stone is removed that we find a manila envelope. Major, look! It's a letter! Looks rather large for a letter, my dear. I think you ought to open it. Here or back at the base? Having got you this far, I think it's only fair that I have equal share of the spoils. Spoils? Yes, perhaps we should look right now, Major. As I'm speaking, I've torn into the envelope. Well, out with it. It looks like drawings? What sort of drawings? I'm not sure, but they look quite old. Antique even. But do they have value, human? Probably to someone. They appear to be sketches of... Sketches? Yeah, nice one. That was very Australian. They appear to be sketches of people here on the island, but I don't recognise anyone. Why would someone lead me to these? How do you know you were meant to find them? Because we followed the trail and it led us here? Actually, the trail ended a while back. It could be a mere coincidence. I hardly see the intrigue in a few old scribbles. They show no artistic flair after all. Even so, I'm going to hang on to these and see if they prove relevant to whatever mystery is unfolding on this island. Floofy Butt rolls his eyes. You really ought to focus more on the clues that matter instead of running around in the middle of the night on wild goose chases. Let's head back before anybody discovers you're missing. I roll the drawings up and tuck them into my waistband. I will study them when I have more time. I think Floofy Butt is probably right, but I don't want to miss a trick. Get some rest now, Croco. Finally, a sensible suggestion. I head after Floofy Butt, struggling to keep up. I really need some sleep. Did that take away 2 hearts then? I wasn't paying attention. No, I can... I'm going to give the cat a manicure. Hey, Snoots! Fancy seeing you here. Really? But this is my spot, human. I'm often to be found here. I let it go because I'm so excited about what I've brought. Pick a hand! I hold my fists out in front of Snooty Booty. Oh, a game, how merry! She stretches her paw out in the direction of my left hand. Ta-da! I open it to reveal a piece of coarse stone that I cut up in the lab. Oh, what a lovely rock you have there. It's coarse stone. I thought it would work really well as a nail file. What a clever thing you are. That's not even the best bit. Look, I open the other fist to reveal my fantastic find. Oh my, what is that thing? It's nail polish. I found it in the lab. I have no idea who it could belong to, and honestly, I don't like to think about it too much, but I figured I could borrow it for 1 short hour without anybody missing it. See, am I supposed to click these? I don't know. And it looks just like your colour. I squint at the bottom of the bottle. It's called Desire. I raise my eyebrows at the Sphinx. Oh, nail polish, you say? Show me, human. Suddenly, she seems more interested. I thought I could try giving you a salon-style manicure befitting a lady. That's the flirt button. I just want to press it all the time now. Most sweet of you. Now, shall we sort out snacks and drinks first? Oh, I came straight from work, so I didn't really... Oh, never mind. It won't... Oh, never mind. It won't take you more than a moment to fetch a coconut, and then we shall begin. I can't believe I'm actually doing her bidding. You have to hand it to her. That air of entitlement certainly gets her what she wants. I'm back quietly and out of breath. Within minutes, we settle into our session. Tell me if this feels uncomfortable, Snoots. I've never done this before, so guidance would be most helpful. It's surprisingly satisfying. I can see why other cats might engage in the process of scratching at trees and rocks. I always thought they were hunting for termites like little scavengers. See you, Zalak. Zalak, sorry. Next foot. I've finished our hind legs and I'm on the final front paw. The stone works really well. Did I tell you how I cut it in the lab? I don't believe you did. So how does this nail polish work? Is it like paint? I ignore her rudeness. Exactly. Paint it on and wait for it to dry. I've never painted someone's nails before, so this will be a new experience for both of us. I open the bottle and make the first stroke. Try to keep as still as possible. I think you'll find I am statuesque in my stillness. Your hand is less so. I know, I'm sorry, your nails are just really tiny. I'm trying to keep the colour within the lines. What lines? never mind, it's a human thing, I guess. I'm not sure I care for the smell of this nail polish. Really? I quite like it. Reminds me of pear drops. Of what? Oh, I'm sorry, it's another human thing. Wow, look, your paws look fantastic. Oh my god. Oh no. The long, sleek talons are glinting, shining red in the sunlight. Oh my, I am spectacular! She extends her claws momentarily and presses them into my arm. Not enough to puncture the skin, but if I were trying to move, it would hurt. For the first time, I appreciate what lethal weapons they could be. I must keep that in mind. So come on then. Take out my catalogue. Come on, what? Pose for the camera. Oh goodness, I hadn't realised this was going to be a photographic session also. How exciting! Yes, well, I'm going to have to remove that varnish before I go, so I thought it would be nice for you to have a photo. Remove it? The Sphinx cat looks poor. Whatever for? Oh, Snoots, I'm sorry. I didn't say. I can't leave it on you permanently. It would impede the natural retraction of your claws. Then I shall leave them extended. You can't do that. Her expression darkens. I beg your pardon. I thought for a moment I heard you tell me what I can't do. Surely I was mistaken. No, I gotta remove the varnish. You're not learning anything about me, Angel. And yes, Cotton Coffee, this is so wrong. We're removing the varnish. Snoots, you heard me perfectly well. The nail varnish must come off. But that simply does not make sense. It makes sense if you know how much damage it could do over a period of time. And why do it in the first place? For entertainment? I thought it would be a fun thing for us to share. You had fun, didn't you? I suppose I did, but I wouldn't have had I known you were simply doing it to taunt me. She seems genuine. I feel bad. Oh my god, this is so wrong. She seems genuinely upset. Perhaps I didn't read this situation very well. I thought she'd love it, but the trouble is I didn't take into account how she'd feel about having it taken away. I feel a bit daft. Nevertheless, letting her keep that nail polish on would wreak havoc with her natural defense abilities, not to mention the harmful chemicals, formaldehyde, all of those things. I'm sorry, Boots, I really didn't mean to taunt you. My intentions were good, I just didn't think them through properly. I accept your apology, and grant you pardon to leave. Whoa, hang on there a minute. Snooty has begun to make a getaway. The fact remains, I'm afraid I can't let you keep the nail polish on. It's bad for you. But it looks so fabulous. Well, that's why I thought a photograph. She remained silent, which I take as a sign of her conceding. So I set about preparing a cotton pad with water and rubbing alcohol. As I go to take her paw, she swipes at me with her extended claws. Boots, come on now, don't make this difficult. You're the one making this difficult, human. She wiggles herself into a pounce position. Snooty Booty, is this really worth falling out over? It's just a bit of nail polish. Do you understand nothing, human? History is full of the unspeakable things that we do in our pursuit of youth and beauty. The unimaginable cruelty to ourselves and others is proof of how important it is. Or how incredibly superficial and vain some people can be. Are you calling me a narcissist? She looks genuinely shocked. I've hit a nerve where I didn't expect there to be one. I'm not calling names at all, Snooty Booty. I just need to do what's best for your welfare. I couldn't sleep if I didn't do the right thing. She seems calmer. Well, we can't have you losing your beauty sleep now, can we? Heaven knows you could use some. She holds out a limp-wristed paw and looks in the opposite direction. I remove the colour from each of her claws in silence. She's uncharacteristically placid. There you go, all done. It was quick and easy, but it felt long and uncomfortable. Well, I shall see you at supper time, I suppose. She sachets away, tail in the air. I can't think I've hurt our friendship as much as I've hurt her pride. Oh. Okay. Alright. This, whatever we do, when I hit rest. Oh, I've got to rest now. Yeah, so okay, this is it. I'm resting. This is the last day. That last day for the stream anyway. I might play this on Thursday. I kind of want to keep going. You have a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy is restored. Magic. Thank you for the saving icon. All right. Well, that was an uncomfortable experience for everyone involved.